you know, I like to get out of the car so I can just show you stuff and things. So this was the Shell building. Shell building, which was right here, was the last room building built at Coco Palms. That was like late 70s, early 80s. And this was the first building torn down. And you can see it had a parking garage under it too. Okay. Okay, we're going to go around and go to the other side. You can see they have these barriers here because they don't want people falling into that basement there. I don't want to fall into the basement. Now there's a driveway right there. You can actually drive into the basement and then the walls will collapse and they'll never find you again. So that's an adventure. Okay. This is the construction trailer. This is where they run the show from. Lagoon Construction. Okay. See? That's the basement. The parking garage. Isn't that cute? Okay. We're going down here. We're going down to the, the King's Pool. This was the biggest pool. Oh, I got my fingers in the camera now. So this is the King's Pool. Okay. And then, let's go over here. We're going over here. All these years that I worked here, I mean, a lot of years, and usually, unless I was touring people, I was the only guy on the property wandering around. And all those years, all these swimming pools here were always full of water. And a whole lot of skeeters. Well, so when Layton came in, one of the first things they did was get the water out of the pools. And eventually the skeeters disappeared. Yeah. Okay. So now we're coming up to the end of the Flame Room. Flame Room was a restaurant at the south end of the property. And there was two areas. It had an outdoor area where I am right now. And also above us, and I think I've told you about these before, there were suites up there. And people loved those suites. And so this was the outdoor area of the Flame Room. And this was the indoor area of the Flame Room. And what they've they built some supports here so that when they're working upstairs, when they're making the rebuilding the suites up there, they've built some structure up here so there won't be any litter that goes into the lagoon. So they're working very hard to keep the lagoon clean. Okay. This is a breezeway right here. So people, they'd all come down here from their rooms, etc. And then they go in the breezeway, and they can either go here into the lagoon bar, or turn to the right and go to the lagoon dining room. Okay, so this was the Lagoon Terrace Lounge, and there was a small stage in here, and Larry Rivera would go at night after he'd do his main show up here in the Lagoon dining room. Then he'd go by himself to the Lagoon Terrace Lounge and do a show called Nightcap with Larry, the drinks are on you. And that's what he'd do. Okay, now what you're seeing here, they built all this to protect all the walls in here. But what you see here is what they built out over the lagoon. And that is to support the lagoon. When they're going to be doing work up here on building these suites, all this wood coming out here will protect the lagoon from debris falling in it. They want to protect the lagoon, and they'll do it. And okay. The big fire in 2014, July 4th, 2014, was all down at this end. And there are pictures of all these suites burning up there. It's terrible, horrible. It's all going to be rebuilt. Everything going to be pretty. Over here, okay. This was this is where they had events for people getting married. They got married, they're honeymooners or whatever. And a couple times a week they'd do an event in here. This is the Palms Suite. And people who were getting married, got married, honeymooning, they'd be invited to come in here, and Grace would greet them here at the door. And then they'd go in, and the booze and the poo-poos were on the house. They didn't have to pay. This was the original swimming pool right here. And it was much bigger. Then they shrunk it down and built the bigger pool, the King's Pool over there. And this pool was called the Queen's Bath. So this is what's going on now. This kind of work down here. And they're going to start more and more work all around the grounds. This right here, when they had the torch lighting ceremony, and they had a big drum, and that big drum was hanging right here. And then when the guys would start running and twirling the torches and lighting the torch pots, they'd be beating the drum here. Boom, boom, boom. And they would do that the whole torch lighting ceremony. It was incredible to watch. And this here is still here. That's what's amazing. It's still here. So, okay. So here we are. The owners were just here. They just left yesterday. Good to see them. But okay. It's just going to keep on going. And so I'm going to be watching and filming everything they're doing. And we'll show it to you. And, I'll try and keep my mouth shut sometimes. I have a hard time keeping my mouth shut. And now that they have actually hired me, okay, today is the first day I am an actual paid employee of Coco Palms. Never before. It was you guys who did that. That changed yesterday. So, hallelujah! Yahoo! Okay, guys. Anyway, just look forward. Look forward to everything. Everything's coming, and it's going to be so cool. What is this? What's this? Oh, my. Oh, look. It's opening the gate for me. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. You see these things here? This artwork, we call it. I came down here one Saturday, I don't know, 3 years ago. And normally I wouldn't come in on Saturday. I did come in on Saturday. I started smelling paint. I was smelling spray paint. Walking around, came around the corner, came in this room, and caught these two guys with their spray cans spraying this stuff. Oh, it stunk. And off they went. They grabbed their little bags of spray paint and took off running. And they never came back and finished it. Okay. All right. Goodbye. Goodbye. This is where they cook your steak and stuff. Ooh, nummy. All right. That of course was the lobby. And it's going to be beautiful. When they finished that lobby, the lobby was so gorgeous in its day before the big fire happened. So they're going to build it again. All right. Okay. There's my car. It's telling me, get in the car, Bob. Come to the car. It's time to go home. All right. Aloha. Okay. Here we are. Now we are at the north end of the structures. structures really aren't here anymore, just kind of piles of what were structures. And then this is the very, very north end. And here's, looks like about the last pile of rebar. And this pile is almost taller than the machines. So this looks like about the last pile of rebar that'll be moved out of here and sent to Oahu. So much rebar. Okay, it's a Sunday. I'm down here today just kind of seeing what's been going on. This is what's left of the last buildings that we saw them. We saw them collapse on it, you know, Ali'i 1, Ali'i 2. And this is the last of it. They pretty well got it mostly dug out. Yeah. Machines are taking the weekend off. So I like to come down when everything else takes the week off. That's the best time for me to film it. That's what I'm doing right now. So they've still got 4 excavators working the property. 1, 2, 3, and then way down there's the 4th one. Okay, busy machine. Okay. They get irritated with me if I get too close to the basements here. So I'm not getting too close to the basement. See, there's I'm not close. All right, I'm not close. So that's the basements. That's where the parking garages were. And this was Ali'i 1. That was the fish wing. And so they're slowly pulling all this cement out of here. Okay.